Hi, I'm Mark Vernarelli, and welcome to Inside Harford County, a program where we sit down with our community leaders and discuss the issues important to the citizens of Harford County. The city of Aberdeen is what we're talking about today. Truly the home of opportunity, strategically located off of I-95, world-class schools, highly skilled and educated workforce, and exceptional quality of life. And of course, the city leaders are committed to making Aberdeen a great place to live and work and do business. And we have three people here joining us today who are talking just about that. Welcome to Mayor Patrick McGrady, the Mayor of Aberdeen, Stefani Spector in the Economic Development Unit, and Crystal Owens, the Main Street Coordinator. Thank you all for being here today.
Yes, sir.
And I got to tell you, from my childhood, I have a lot of great memories of Aberdeen. I'm a military brat, and my parents were always at Aberdeen Proving Ground or Edgewood Arsenal. We'd eat in former late Mayor George Engelson's New Ideal Diner, watch the fast trains go by, and we'd shop on the main street. And it seems like the town is still very vibrant, and that's what you guys are trying to keep going with, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Mayor, you can tell us a little bit about why you think Aberdeen is well positioned for success.
Great, absolutely. Thank you for having us, Mark. This is great. Aberdeen is, so as you said in your introduction, is strategically located from a 50,000-foot view halfway between Baltimore and Philadelphia. We think that it's prime for growth. We've got a lot of great incentives in place in Aberdeen, but really what it's about, I think, the reason that we're so primed for success, we've got a great team at City Hall that understands what businesses are looking for, what consumers are looking for, and what our residents need in Aberdeen to make it work. So from top to bottom, I think Aberdeen is primed for growth in the coming months and years, and I'm excited to be working with Crystal and Stefani in that process.
And Stefani, we have a lot of economic things in the works right now. Talk a little bit about some of the things that you guys are working on.
So the city and the city council and mayor passed some new business incentives this year that started July 1, 2019. So we're really trying to encourage new business growth. Those business incentives really are a partnership between the city, of course, property owners and small businesses. We have some new exciting things happening in Aberdeen as well. University of Maryland Medical Campus is coming to Aberdeen, so you should see some construction hopefully in the next year or so. And we also have a new movie theater coming into the city. So Horizon Cinemas has their permits and they're ready to start construction.
And Crystal, as far as the Main Street, which in this case is Bel Air Avenue, the Main Street designation is not just a title. There's an actual program that you've applied to that if we get it, you'll get some quite a bit of incentives and some money, right? Talk about the Main Street program.
Thank you for having us. Yes, the Main Street program, it comes from the state. There's also a nationwide program. Maryland has an additional section to it, and we have to meet really all 5 parts of it with, making sure the place is clean and safe, having beautiful design downtown, landscaping, things like that, and really making sure it is a destination. So if we get the designation, then we will be open to more funding. Plus, we're going to have a lot of exposure, not only in Maryland, but nationwide, really.
A lot of people who've never heard of Aberdeen would potentially hear about it through
Correct.
this.
Yes.
And come off the highway and visit potentially.
Yes.
Mayor, you were born and raised in this area, an Aberdeen kid, and how has it changed? Your metamorphosis is interesting because now you're the mayor of Aberdeen, but when you were a kid growing up just outside town, was it a lot like this or was it totally different?
That's a really good question. Thanks for asking. So yeah, I grew up in Aberdeen. I went to all of our elementary schools. We weren't happy with one school. I went to the other school, and I went to Aberdeen Middle School and Aberdeen High School. So I grew up downtown in my grandparents' business. And so to your point about being an Army brat, the military presence in Aberdeen has changed significantly since George Engelson was the mayor and at the diner there. And it's really morphed a lot from being a military-heavy town with all the trappings of military life, with a lot of soldiers running around in uniforms, to being our closest neighbor, Aberdeen Proving Ground, having more than 20,000 highly skilled, highly paid employees that travel through Aberdeen every day to get there. And so what we've seen in the downtown and the surrounding areas is an interest in development and redevelopment of some of these parcels that are older. What Stefani spoke to earlier, some of the incentives that the city has introduced are really exciting. So anywhere you build in Maryland generally, and specifically in Harford County, there are water sewer connection fees. For example, if you want to build a single-family home elsewhere rather than in the downtown area of Aberdeen, it'll cost you between $15,000 and $25,000 just to pay to hook up to the connection. We've waived that in the downtown area because we're excited about the future of the downtown area, and there's lots of really great programs that we've rolled out. To your question about what I've seen differently, Aberdeen's benefit, I think, in the county and in the region, not only geography, not only the transportation we've got, not only our linkage and our perpetual connection with Aberdeen Proving Ground, is the potential, the value opportunity. I think that the value, so I'm a real estate investor is what I do primarily. I have rental properties and we do some commercial, and I love Aberdeen. Like, I invest there with my own money because I believe that the future of Aberdeen is so bright in terms of the $80 million Upper Chesapeake University of Maryland project, with the businesses that are investing millions of dollars in the movie theaters and new businesses and franchises, and we've just got our new I say it's our yuppie connection. We got our Starbucks that just opened up on our 6-lane highway that just got done, the 22, and we're primed for growth. And so anyway, I'm excited to be here, and I'm rambling, but I'm very excited about Aberdeen's future.
You're excited about Starbucks too, clearly.
Yes, it's a
Right,
beautiful
no Starbucks
Starbucks
for you for the rest of the show. You've got enough energy.
Thank you.
Crystal, the facade improvements and the business improvements that the small businesses want to do, that will be helped potentially by the Main Street designation, correct? Will they get some help to do their renovations?
Correct. We have applied for the grant. We will know soon if we get the money, and then it will be available or open for applications to be turned in January. And then the council will go through the applications and decide, you know, what is viable, because there are things that you can't use it for, like, you know, a roof or things
Standard
like that.
renovations.
Yeah, maintenance.
Right.
And what we do is, if they want to spend $1,000 on landscaping or flowers or something in front of their building, we'll match it. If they want to put on a new awning for, you know, $5,000, we'll match that. So there's really no limit what you can ask for. So I mean, we're matching them right there. So it's a great opportunity.
Stephanie, I hear that we're going to have an entrepreneurship event coming up on September the 10th. Talk about that a little bit.
Sure.
And why you want to do that.
So in my experience, I've been with the city for a year and a half, and obviously I work with businesses. I'm really their first point of contact oftentimes, and they ask a lot of questions like, what do I have to do to get a permit? What do I have to do to get financing, and these other questions. So with that being said, why not open for a day a one-stop shop where you have members of Aberdeen government, Harford County government, Harford County Office of Community and Economic Development, the Health Department, and other partners that can answer these questions. And really the goal of this Entrepreneur Expo is to show the entrepreneurs potentially looking to move to Aberdeen what Aberdeen has to offer and answer any of their questions. Not only on the Entrepreneur Expo day, but any business that's looking to come to Aberdeen can stop into City Hall and ask myself or Crystal or Gil Jones, who's our senior planner, any questions. We're open for business any day.
And I'm hearing that the hotels are booked almost every night because, and that's pretty amazing to think that. You have a number of hotels, it's not like there's only one or two. And that shows that a lot of people at least know where Aberdeen is, and they're traveling through and they're staying here.
Absolutely. We have about 1,200 hotel rooms. I just spoke to a general manager of a hotel, and she said their occupancy is at 95%.
Wow.
Wow.
That is one of the highest that we've had, which means that you're right. Hotels are doing great, and they're looking for more opportunities. They want to send their guests to restaurants, and they want to be able to share the rest of Aberdeen with their guests. So that means that not only is Aberdeen doing well, but APG might be doing well, and there's a lot of opportunities here.
Mayor, we joke about the Starbucks, but seriously, what is the future of Aberdeen in terms of exciting things that you see happening retail-wise or development-wise?
So with the completion of the Route 22 highway project, which was a challenge for a handful of years, that being completed, the city council, the city staff have taken the initiative with that completion to look forward into how we can encourage growth. So everybody's talking about we're able to touch on things, but all the things that Stephanie and Crystal are talking about are a lot deeper and broader than we're able to touch on here. So with the hotels, Stephanie's had outreach with our hoteliers in Aberdeen, the 1,200 rooms. Everybody benefits when our businesses are successful, and so we go out of our way in Aberdeen to make communications with our businesses on a weekly basis, as often as we can, to hear from them the challenges and the concerns they have, not only to try to recruit outside businesses to come into Aberdeen, but to help our local businesses thrive and grow. I'm of the opinion that the best way for economic growth is to help our local guys be more successful so they can expand rather than banking on somebody coming in from outside and investing. And as we do this successfully, as we continue to do this successfully with our downtown businesses and our businesses at the Beards Hill Shopping Center where the Starbucks is, the city's making strategic investments. We're building a road called Middleton Road that's been in progress for 50 years. So for 50 years this road's been penciled out, and we took the initiative to finish it now that Route 22 is done. And I think that with this kind of focused, intense planning, the city can assist our local businesses in investing, creating more opportunities for our residents. And anyway, really, I'm proud to be a part of the city of Aberdeen, and everything's great. Really,
Exciting. It's an exciting time.
So the way I say it is that everything exciting in Harford County is happening in Aberdeen. It really is. And it sounds like because I'm the mayor, you got to say that, but really, between Upper Chesapeake and the business investment and the construction projects that we're seeing, and the sports tourism, and the proving ground, really, we're at the epicenter of Harford County activity.
And Crystal, one of the Main Street things that's happening, it's separate from what you're doing, but it's a State Highway Administration thing, is a streetscape.
Yes.
And that's going to include, I'm assuming, repaving and benches and flowers and things like that, correct?
Correct.
And when's that start and how long is that going to take?
The paving should start in October, and depending on the weather, it's going to last 9 months to a year. And then after that, the design committee is going to come together, and they are going to update the landscaping, cut some bushes and trees down and put low growing ones so you can see the stores better. And they're just going to put in benches, so if people are out shopping or they're waiting in line to go into a restaurant, they have a place to sit and hang out. We're also going to add bicycle racks because we're hoping to get more people who want to bike around there and run around there.
And speaking of that, Stephanie, you're the economics guru, but you've got some plans for races and some special events too, right?
Yeah, that is right. So we partner with Blue Cheetah. We've done this for, I think, 3 years now, and their races have been very successful. So they set up shop right around Festival Park, so that's right in front of City Hall, and they do year-round races. So they have one for Easter, they have a bunny run, they have the reindeer run, and then they do one for Halloween too. So they have about 650 to 700 participants that run in Aberdeen, and like I said, it's just a really great time. We also are getting ready for a food truck festival, and that will be October 19th, right in Festival Park as well. So you can see the theme here, right? We have a really great venue right in our downtown, which is Festival Park. Generally speaking, it's open to the public, and we also can rent that out for special events. So we are always looking for people that are interested in doing some more events in the downtown.
And Crystal, it's not far away. I hate to bring it up, but Christmas is not that far away, and you have some plans for Christmas events as well, correct?
We do. Every year they have the Christmas Street celebration where they do the lighting of the Christmas tree. And Miss Caroline Curry, she heads that up every year. The city is going to do something the next week too called Christmas Around the World, and we're wanting to bring in vendors so you can see what, if you went to Italy, what they would have, their food for Christmas, Spain, France, and things like that, and hopefully even put in some food from the Caribbean and things like that, so people can have a great experience there.
Mayor, the Upper Chesapeake thing is a big deal in terms of not only jobs, but do you expect a tremendous economic offshoot from that with other businesses locating or other health care related venues locating if that happens?
Sure, yes. So the Upper Chesapeake University of Maryland Medical Center purchase of the property we call the Merritt property right there on Route 22 in Aberdeen has been a blessing to the city and to the county, I think. The building, the Merit building, had been vacant since it was built on speculation back in 2012. Everybody thought that the base realignment and closure of the BRAC was going to lead to tremendous need for commercial space, and so the Merit company built this 94,000 square foot building, and it had not been able to find a tenant until Upper Chesapeake came along and expressed interest. So in addition to being able to use that property, we're all very excited for the potential that this leads. So because of the size of the parcel and the opportunities nearby, it looks like the Upper Chesapeake University of Maryland medical system is going to have this not only in the short term with their 200,000 square foot building and the existing building that they're going to use and the helipad and the emergency room and the care center that's going to be there. It appears that it's going to be postured for future growth in the next iteration of the medical system's investment. So yes, and there will be a lot of secondary and subsidiary services and medical device companies that come along with that. What we're interested in Aberdeen is making sure that we're able to support the needs of the Harford County and the regional medical services. So that and our staff has been tremendous from the beginning. And so let me be clear that when the conversation started with Upper Chesapeake and the University of Maryland, we opened our doors at City Hall and we said, if we can help provide quality medical service to the region, we're here to help. So tell us what you need and we'll make it work. And we've received nothing but praise from their team, and we're happy to be a part of that going forward. So yes, I'm sure the Starbucks will be happy, the Panera will be happy with all the people visiting the hospital, and I'm excited for the potential there. So it's all coming to fruition at the same time. Stefani spoke to the movie theater that's going to open, Horizon Theaters. They've got a theater in Fallston currently with the fancy recliner seats and the food service and the bar, and that will be a supplement to the medical center as well. I mean, all of this is coming together, and everything feels. It feels to me like everything is going so well. It almost makes me nervous how well everything's going. but I'm very excited about it.
Stefani, what about baseball? A lot of people who know nothing about Aberdeen or not military oriented will still know about the Ripken family and the Aberdeen Ironbirds. Is that still something that brings people in and then they find out more about Aberdeen? Is baseball still an important marketing tool here?
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned before, we have 1,200 hotel rooms and they're at 95% occupancy. So there's a reason for that, right? I think Aberdeen resonates with baseball. Of course, we have so much to offer, not just baseball, but that is a long-standing tradition, I think, for Aberdeen. The Ironbirds continue their season, and they have really great things like fireworks nights and themes nights. So I think that that's going to continue to bring people in. And then the other thing is there's baseball camps that run throughout the summer. So really that brings tourism as well. We also get a lot from Cedar Lane. So sports tourism is huge. And it's not just Harford County or Aberdeen. I think that's a continuing trend that we're going to see continuing on.
Crystal, the Main Street program, we'll go back to that for a moment. You have 4 or 5 criteria that have to be met for that. Talk about how difficult it is or what the criteria are for Aberdeen to become an official designated Main Street community.
Okay, we have to have promotions, and you have to be putting out the community, and then you also have the organization, and that's really putting out the program that you are trying to build. You also have to have economic vitality, and that's bringing in new businesses, helping to strengthen the businesses that are currently here. And it escaped me what the 4th one was, but I know Maryland has a 5th one, which is the clean, safe, and green. And that's just making sure, like the mayor's program with cleaning up trash and litter, that's taken care of. You know, making sure it's safe for people to go out and exercise.
Mayor, when you were growing up here, long before you were mayor, did you ever think you'd be involved in government? Or is that something that you thought, well, I'm going to stay in my town here and I'm coming back after college and I'm going to help run this town? Or it is something that just kind of happened for you?
It's a good question. I never had any interest in being involved in the government, and frankly, the idea of the government turns me off, right? I'm a libertarian in that respect. But I went away to school, and when I graduated, I got a BS in finance, a BA in economics, and I was graduating into the Great Recession. And by happenstance, I wasn't able to find work on Wall Street where these kinds of degrees would be useful. So I came home and started to help with my family's business as my parents were aging, and it just led to a good shift. And so in that process, I started to learn more about the way city government operates. And I'm firmly of the mind that local government, town government across the state of Maryland and nationally is the best place for people to have an impact in their community. When somebody calls the mayor, when somebody calls their town council person, that is real. For example, if somebody calls me and says there's a pothole at the corner of West Bel Air Avenue and Gunnison Street, for example, we can have that fixed the next day. In terms of government, if you call your congressman, you're calling 1 out of 700,000 people. The congressman doesn't know who you are, doesn't know where you live, right? When people call me, they meet me on the street, and they say, so we lived right across, my family lives right across from Aberdeen High School today. And we take our little scooters, me and my kids and my wife, we scoot over around the track there, and we run around. And I meet kids all the time there, and I say, where do you live? And they say, Aberdeen. And I say, okay, what street do you live on? And they're like, Custis Street. And I say, okay, which house? Are you next to the Smiths or are you next to the Joneses? And they say, oh yeah, I'm next to them. And I say, great, so how can I help you, right? And the attitude between the city staff and the city council of service is such a rewarding experience for me that I never viewed myself doing this before. I never had this vision of doing this, and it's been a very rewarding experience for me to this point.
And Crystal, unlike the mayor, you're not from Aberdeen, which I'm sure our viewers have said, she's got a little southern accent going there. You're from the Carolinas, but you had to be drawn to Aberdeen, I would think, to take this job. You see a lot of potential in Aberdeen. What was it about the town that made you say, this is where I want to be for this job?
There were a couple things. Once I met with Phyllis Grover, she just had this enthusiasm for the city, and it was like nothing I'd ever seen before. And she said, I want you to go through the downtown area and let me know what you think it needs. And I did that, and I told her frankly what I thought it needed, but I also talked about how great those things are and how you can vision how awesome it's going to be. And she was like, that's, you know, perfect. But I've never seen a city back and support their community the way Aberdeen has. I mean, it's just amazing how they reach out to businesses, and, you know, we go when we want to help them and we want to see them succeed. So the way they are and just open arms to everyone, that was it for me.
Stephanie, the retail landscape has changed exponentially in recent years because of the online shopping and things. How does that change your marketing plan when you're trying to get new businesses to come in?
Sure. So I truly believe that the Main Street approach is a mixture of traditional retail that you've seen, but also some new uses. True retail is changing because of the online platform, but you see some businesses that offer you an experience that you can't have just shopping online. And those are the retail stores that really are surviving. And then you also see some retail stores that find their niche in the community. As an example, a hardware store that serves the local community that lives right there. We do have a lot of people that live around the downtown that might prefer to walk and not drive, so they don't want to drive somewhere where a corporate store might be. And that's where those small business retail stores come in. Of course, you know, you can say retail might be struggling, but we've seen Main Streets survive. Even when the economy wasn't doing very well, Main Street survived, and there's a reason, and that's that tourism and that experience that you get. So we try to work with every small business, retail as well, and try to come up with their marketing plan and their business plan so that they can survive.
Mayor, when I think of Aberdeen, I see a vibrancy to it. I see like people are really excited about being in Aberdeen. Do you feel that way? You feel like it's very vibrant throughout the town?
Yes, and people in Aberdeen have a chip on their shoulder in a good way. We're proud of our community. We're proud of Aberdeen's strong history, and I think that that's going to continue into the future. So with the stuff that the city's planning, with the stuff that the businesses are doing, we've got a lot of really great non-governmental actors in Aberdeen. The Boys and Girls Club has a very active location on Aberdeen's east side. We've got a lot of business investors who have been improving a lot of properties. So yes, your question is there vibrancy? Yes, and we're very excited. Everybody's very excited about the future of Aberdeen, and I think that with your help, we can continue to spread the message about how bright and positive Aberdeen's future is.
And Crystal, a lot of stuff, good stuff happening on Bel Air Avenue and in the downtown area in particular, so we have to keep an eye on the Main Streets program. When do you expect to hear back about the grant funding?
We will find out about the grant funding within the next few months, and then it will be available in January. And we should hear about the designation soon. The state will give us some things that, that they see, and then we will work on our application from there.
Stephanie, you're also not a native to Harford County. What brought you here as far as, had you heard much about Aberdeen when you came here, when you settled here?
So like I said, I went to Towson originally. I'm from New Jersey, and that's how I sort of got to Maryland. I knew about Aberdeen in college because my roommates were from Bel Air. So I took a trip with them to Bel Air, and we went to an Ironbirds game. So I've been familiar with Aberdeen. I definitely didn't work as closely with it as I did, but I'm really happy to be here, and I love Aberdeen. So I just want to share that message that we're doing really good things, and we hope that you'll come be a part of our community.
Well, I will say that you all seem to be very excited about your jobs, and it seems like you're really working together well. It seems like it's a very cohesive unit, and I'm sure good things are happening. Final word, Mayor, to the folks who maybe have never been to Aberdeen.
So, you're putting me on the spot here, but I'm not prepared. But listen, Aberdeen is the most exciting place to be in Harford County. We've got a variety of restaurants, locally grown restaurants like Frank's Pizza and the Olive Tree. We've got our new Starbucks there. There's plenty of stuff to see. We've got beautiful parks, a variety of housing stock for people who are looking for a new place to live, and really we're the gateway to the Chesapeake Bay. So anything that we can do in Aberdeen, the people should check out our website at aberdeenmd.gov, and we're happy to be of service.
Thank you all very much for being here today, and thank you for watching Inside Harford County, airing exclusively on the Harford Cable Network. This program is going to air throughout the month of September on Mondays at 2 in the afternoon and Thursdays at 7 in the evening. And please join us again for another issue important to Harford County. I'm Mark Vernarelli. Thanks again for watching.